Shalom, everyone, and welcome to WOW equals Words of Wisdom number 12. Are you information rich and application poor? Ask yourself that question. I have to ask myself that question. We live in a day and age where information is being put out all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all of the time. And people are consuming information like Pac-Man going after power pellets. Okay? Is gobbling up information all the time. But the question is, with all of the information that we're taking in, especially spiritual information, are we ever getting to the point? Hi, Sister Diamond. Are we ever getting to the point where we are actually moving from just receiving that information, hearing it, and going to the point where it just becomes theory and actually applying it and implementing it into our lives? And when you look around, whether it's people in your family, people you work with, in your communities, unfortunately, people are more application rich and they're information rich and application poor. And that is a problem. You see people making the same mistakes, the same bad decisions, the same bad choices over and over and over again. And they hear more and more and more information. They take in more teachings. They take in more sermons. They go to more workshops. They go to more, conferences. They get more and more and more advice. And they still don't ever get to the point where they're applying all of the good information that they are getting, that they are consuming, that they are taking in. And we've got to move beyond that point. We got to take that information, what we're learning from the scriptures, what we're learning from the word of Yah, and we have got to start applying it to our lives. We've got to start implementing it in our lives. We've got to start doing it. We've got to start being obedient and applying the word of the Most High Yah in our lives. And we have to be intentional about doing it. That means we have to really be disciplined, and we have to be, really conscious about how we are living our lives. And so when we are, even when we're taking in the information, we just can't be taking it in like it's just entertainment. Okay. And unfortunately, when we hear the word of Yah taught, a lot of times we take it in like it's entertainment. And it's not supposed to be entertainment. It's supposed to be life transforming to us. And so when if we're going to move from just being, information rich and application poor, and we want to move to being application rich, we've got to stop, taking the teachings that we are taking in from the word of Yah and stop looking at it as entertainment. Okay. And start really, taking it in as this is something that I need to listen to, that I need to hear, that I need to pray about, that I need to seek the Most High Yah about. And then once he continues to, open up your eyes and expose to you what you need to do and adjust and obey and turn away from, then you need to be intentional about implementing, what you are learning from the word of Yah into your life. And unfortunately, you know, on the application side of things, we are bankrupt overall. We really are not just poor, but bankrupt, because there's so many people that just, just taking in information, consuming it, gobbling it up. And sometimes we need to take a step back, and start, surveying all of the information that we're getting, and really start thinking about it and meditating on it, and, taking a spiritual inventory and saying, hey, what have I learned this week? you know, and what do I need to do? Do I need to repent? Do I need to ask for forgiveness? What do I need to turn away from? What do I need to stop doing? What do I need to start doing? Okay. And how do I implement these spiritual principles in my life today? Okay. And that's what we have to do. We have to start doing that if we're going to start becoming application rich. This is very, very important. You don't want to be in the same place that next year or 2 years from now, 3 years from now, still just taking in a whole bunch of teaching and information and never being intentional about applying it and implementing it and doing it in your life. This is very, very important. So sometimes you got to take a step back. Like I said, a lot of times I've found myself where I've got taken in so much information, and I read a lot of books. Okay. And a lot of times I have to, I've read these books and I have to pray about it. And ask the Most High Yah what He is trying to teach me from everything that I'm learning. Okay. And the only book that you don't need to take a step back from is the scriptures. Okay. But a lot of times we take in so much other information. All right. That we need to start getting to the point where we are applying the word of Yah and being intentional about it each and every day. And start with the scriptures that you know. If you know 5 scriptures really, really well, start with implementing and applying those 5 scriptures in your life. And I guarantee you, your life will change and be transformed when you are intentional about applying those 5 scriptures in your life. And then when you do that, the Most High Yah will start showing you more things that you can apply to your life, that you can implement in your life. And then He'll start, giving you more information, giving you more wisdom, giving you more understanding. But a lot of us stay stagnant because we're just taking it. We're stuffed. We're overflowing with everything that we're taking in. And we're not ever getting to the point where we're starting to implement it. So we end up being spiritually stuffed because we're never getting to the point where we are, we're implementing it and we're not seeing that change and there's no growth there. So this is something that we all really need to think about, going forward. If you are in that place where you are information rich and application poor, you need to start coming to the place where, I need to start applying some things to my life that I am learning, so that you're not in the same place that you are in now, 6 months from now, a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, just being overstuffed with all of everything that you're taking in spiritually and never getting to the point where you are applying it and walking it out in your life. We've got to get to the point where we're being obedient and implementing the word of Yah in our life and walking it out in our lives. We don't want to be at the point where we're still struggling with the same things. We've got information on it. We've got scriptures on it. We've been given, Yah's wisdom on a particular area in our lives, but we just haven't gotten to the point where we have started implementing what we've learned. So think about that. Think about that going forward. You might be implementing, the principles of Yah's word in your life in a particular area, and you're seeing growth, and you're flourishing, and you're really moving forward in your relationship with the Most High Yah in that area. But over here, you're just really, really struggling. And it may be because of the fact that you're constantly taking in information, but you're not, applying what you have learned in that particular area. And so we've got to make sure it's a constant surveying and examination of our lives each and every day, all of the time. All of the time. And I guarantee you, if we really invest more time into implementing what we are learning from the word of Yah into our lives, we won't have time to point the fingers and look at everybody else's life and be nosy and, gossiping and backbiting and, just doing all kinds of things that are sinful and that are wrong in the eyesight of Yah, because we're going to be, constantly seeking his face, acknowledging him in all of our ways so that he can direct our paths. And we'll be looking, how can I implement what I've learned into my life today? And so that's living your life in a way that is very, very intentional and with purpose and with discipline and with focus, and you're not all over the place because you're trying to implement what you have learned. So think about that today. Let's move from the place where we are information rich and application poor. And let's bring up our level of application and implementation of the word of Yah in our life to the level where we are balanced, that as we are getting that information in, that we implement it as we are receiving it, so that it will be a constant flow and of the power of the Most High Yah that will take place in our lives, so that there won't be a spiritual log jam in our lives because we're not implementing the word of Yah on a consistent basis. I know I want to see the power of the Most High Yah flow in and through my life on a consistent basis. But his power can't flow in our lives the way that it really needs to if we are not, consistent in applying the word of Yah in our lives. So let's just be more than just hearers of the word, but let's be doers also. Okay, so I just wanted to, bring that out to you today. Pray about that. Seek the face of the Most High Yah. Ask him to show you, areas of your life where you have been information rich and application poor. And then ask him to show you, what you need to do to really implement the word of Yah in those areas so that you can come up in your area of application of Yah's word in your life today. So I just want to thank you for joining me for WOW equals Words of Wisdom number 12. And I pray that you have a positive, powerful, and productive day. Shalom. See you next time.